Have the Golden State Valkyries cracked the code against the league superstars? LA Sparks seem to be at the highest level of festivity right now. And of course, the New York Liberty have it popping from Celebrity Row to the court. Are they the league's best team?
We also have a special guest in the building. WNBA star, current filmmaker, and producer Angel Mccoughtry will join us and more here on the Hardwood 94. It's going up.
Welcome to another episode of the Hardwood 94. I'm Nick Hamilton, of course, alongside my partner.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
What's going on? I'm super excited. Another show, episode 2, season 3. We're back.
Man, back like we never left.
Yes.
And of course, the Golden State Valkyries, have been, to me, in the last couple of weeks, been the league's most surprising team because when you look at how they started, there was a lot of controversy. There were fans talking about, can Natalie Nakasi coach? What is she doing? Why are you dropping the first round picks? Like, what's going on at Golden State?
Right.
But she was able to hold it down. She didn't waver. She stayed poised, and she was able to continue to build that culture with the Golden State Valkyries. And look what it's produced. I mean,
it's a new team, new coach, new environment, and it's so exciting because they've sold out games, but it's been for a reason. I mean, they're figuring out how to win early on. Whereas some of the other teams in the league that have been around for a while, I won't name any names, but, they are struggling right now to figure things out and dropping to teams like the Valkyries. So kudos and commendable to them, that they have been able to figure out a ways to win early on in their, WNBA career and history. It's really great to see.
Well, the Valkyries have put a beat down on teams as of late. Primarily the Las Vegas Aces, led by Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray.
Yes.
A 20-plus point beatdown where I was shocked.
Right.
Because I didn't think, but you got to remember this too. Natalie was the assistant coach through those championship years as well.
Yes, she was under Becky Hammon, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So when you look at what she was able, and she's a very smart lady already, but she's a smart basketball coach.
Right.
And I think people lost sight of that because it was so much, like I said earlier, going on in the beginning stages, and they were trying to get their footing, and trying to figure things out. And like I said, you had Kate Money Martin over there. You have a lot of just pieces that you're trying to gel and build chemistry, continue to cultivate that chemistry and that camaraderie amongst the locker room. So
and just the whole new adjustments, right? Because obviously it's a new arena that they're playing in. It's a new franchise. So there was a lot of things to figure out in a very short period of time. But, the way in which the Valkyries have shown up until this point, and especially as you mentioned, the coach being at the helm in the forefront, but having had that, championship pedigree and understanding how to win, I think Becky Hammon has obviously shown her prints and have her paws on that a little bit as well, because, that's a true definition of a winner right there. So, to have any disciples of Becky Hammon is incredible, and it's really good to see for the league.
I love you, Becky. You know this. But you got out coached that day.
Oh, man.
Insane. Still championship coach. No question. But what I will say this, too, and then they came into L.A. once again, beating the L.A. Sparks in overtime.
Yes.
And
I just circled that as a win. I just knew that was a win for the Sparks. I was like, okay, easy. They're going to go 3-4. That's crazy. To a new team is ridiculous, and especially not defending home court. I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but I'm a little peeved at the Sparks right now and their inability to close out games when they have leads, when they're supposed to win against newer teams, newer franchises, and it doesn't make any sense, Nick. I don't get it.
You see my face.
Yeah.
It's called confusion. Help me out here. You honestly going to sit here in front of this audience and sit there and think that the Los Angeles Sparks were going to beat the Golden State Valkyries after what we have seen the last few games?
And you
there more than me. So I'm just saying.
Yes,
I move around a little bit, but you are positioned there.
Right.
And you still did that?
I still believed it. Yes.
Why?
They had Rakia Jackson coming back. They had some of the players that they were missing. Kelsey Plum is still on that team. I mean, it's not like you were saying that they're defined by, just maybe a couple losses. They were still close in a lot of those games. So for me, it was really, I still had them winning that game at home. I feel like, they talked about the importance. Lynn Roberts is exhausted talking about, the importance of winning at home and taking care of home court. So, I expected more from them. I expected them to be able to remember that 18-point swing that happened last time that they came to LA and understand that they, needed these wins. Like, playoffs is, I don't even know if they can spell playoffs at this point.
Well,
so, yeah.
In the words of the late, great Nipsey Hussle, last time that I checked, it was 5-on-5, not 1-on-5, and close only counts in horseshoes. This is basketball. So, no, I had no confidence because
Nickisms.
I had no confidence whatsoever because I've seen, and that's not to say that the Sparks aren't talented, right?
Right.
They have talent on that bunch.
Yes.
But what I'm looking at heart, I'm looking at authenticity, I'm looking at grit, and I'm looking at the Golden State Valkyries. Like, they're coming in here with nothing to lose. They are not playing with, they're not.
Or something to prove, really.
Well,
That's
no.
what they look like. They look like they had something to prove.
It did look like the Sparks were playing with the lemon booty. Like, the Valkyrie looked like they were loose, they were in control, they had no pressure, they were moving the ball.
Well, I mean, it went into overtime, and to me, the team, they just got out-rebounded. That was really one of the biggest things that the Sparks, that took them over, because it wasn't necessarily, a difference in terms of the scoring. It wasn't necessarily a difference in terms of anything else. I feel like the biggest factor was that they got out-rebounded. Offensive rebounds was 17-12 if I'm remembering correctly. So, I mean, that's going to, anytime that you have a team grab 17 rebounds, which goes back to their whole point of not having, a paint presence, to me is one of the biggest glaring things that the Sparks need, is they really need that post player like somebody like a Sanaya Fagan, who they have on the roster but don't play. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I think the Valkyries are a team that have no pressure, so any win is a glory win.
Yes.
And I think they can only get better as they continue to build. So I'm going to be on the lookout for the Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah.
And Natalie Nikasi is starting to do her job, and she's starting to turn some heads, and that's what you better be concerned in a couple of years. They get the right pieces in there.
For sure.
They're definitely going to be a contender in a couple of years if
and
they
it
do
looks,
it right.
I mean, their fans also traveled, which is, obviously it's a hop and a skip.
Ride on Southwest.
It's a hop and a skip away, but I don't know that this, that other franchises have, in the first year of their franchise, have, their fans traveling. I mean, they've sold out all the home games that they've had and played thus far. So it's really, it's cool to see this new franchise come in here and shake things up a little bit, especially in the West.
I'm going to go get me some Valkyries gear. In the meantime, between time, coming up, more on the drama in L.A. and, of course, our convo with a very special guest, Angel Mccoughtry.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
Stay tuned.
Super excited.
Warning, the following footage is offensive.
Williams with the finish.
Defensive.
Driving in the paint. Into the stands.
Extremely confident. Occasionally disrespectful. And so devastatingly good, you'll change your passwords to WNBA 2025 OMG so good, these supers can hoop! Exclamation point, exclamation.
Oh, the effort, the energy, it's all there.
Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the W.
Hey, welcome back to the Hardwood 94. Now, the WNBA All-Star Voting 2025 presented by Ally tips off Thursday, June 12th. Fans can vote for the WNBA All-Star via WNBA.com and the WNBA app. Sweepstakes offering will see one grand prize winner receive a 3-day, 2-night trip for two to the 2025 AT&T WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis. AT&T WNBA All-Star Games is set for Saturday, July 19th, and will air on ABC in prime time. Get your vote on right now. And of course, could talk more WNBA than for our guest that we have right now, a current WNBA star that played most of her career with the Atlanta Dream and is currently a filmmaker, director, and producer with such films as Lanier and Bygones. Give it up for the one and only Angel Mccoughtry.
What's up?
Yeah.
Listen, we got a lot to talk about with you because you have been busy amongst everything,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Everywhere.
We talked backstage earlier about how we met, which was incredible in itself.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
just watching you on the floor and watching you direct traffic as you've done. Because let me tell y'all something. Angel Mccoughtry ain't gonna take no mess from nobody, and she gonna if you ain't in the
That's
right
on or off the
she
court,
gonna
okay?
let you know you messed up.
Oh,
But
my
the
goodness.
way you handled yourself, and it was at a period where the W was still growing, not to where obviously we know where it is now.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But in that space, what was your mindset going into those seasons, being that leader, being the face of a franchise like the Atlanta Dream?
I would just say my back still hurt from carrying teams for so long. I was used to it because at Louisville, I remember my first year at Louisville, Rick Pitino, his team, I went to the game and I see 18,000 people. The next day we have a game, there's nobody there. And I'm like, this is gonna change. And it was the same thing going to Atlanta Dream. The team had only been in the second year, and I'm like, okay, we don't have fans yet.
Right.
Nobody knows we exist. We out in the community, like we have a WNBA team. But to watch where it has grown now, it's just amazing to see.
Yeah, I mean, for both, at the collegiate level, obviously we've seen such dynasties like UConn and like, the team that you talked about, but also what's been the biggest differences in terms of the WNBA and their growth? How have you seen that evolve, and what do you think are the most impactful for the players from your perspective?
The big differences I see from when I played to now is just the brands are more behind the WNBA. There was a time where, we would fight to try to get brands behind us, and it was like, oh, WNBA, it was just this big turnoff. I don't know what it was,
Right.
but we knew we were marketable. We knew that, if we got the marketing as our male counterparts, because look at where we were without the marketing.
Yes.
People still knew Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, myself,
yes.
Sue Bird, without the marketing. So we knew if we get a little push, it's gonna work. People were gonna, when I would go out and meet people, they wanted to come to a game because they knew who they were coming to watch. You're not gonna go to an NBA game if you don't know who you're gonna watch. Right? You guys know what LeBron ate for breakfast. So if you got to know us as women, we knew that you guys would love our brand and it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, just showing the personalities and such, has been really a joy to see. Obviously, I'm a product of USC, so to see Juju Watkins and what her impact and what she's done for, just women's sports, for collegiate sports, and for women's hoops in general. What have you seen from her? Did you have you got a chance to see her play? I'm just joking. Juju, she's a little sis of mine, and just like her maturity level. I mean, just how she handles herself, and we know she's getting so much NIL, but she's so humble. She's definitely helping our game, especially with me being in the media space now and television. How she's branching in doing television. She has like her second season of her docuseries. Yes.
Like, that is what we've always needed in our game, and to see it happen, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When you look at from where you come from, as far as the W and where, like you mentioned earlier with yourself, you guys were still growing, you guys were still elevating, and then looking at it now.
Yeah.
Do you, and it's this crazy ass narrative that y'all are just salty because now we got Caitlin Clark who came to save the day, and then there's, oh yeah, by the way, there's Angel Reese, and then there's now Paige Beckers, and like the WNBA wasn't solid before these great players came into existence.
Been about it and still about it.
Right. So how are you able to kind of quelch that narrative and showcase people like, hey, we want to support these young women. We want to be able to say, hey, look, we're past the baton. Now they're taking it to a whole different stratosphere.
Yeah, it's funny to me because I hear a lot of guys say, oh, you guys are playing now. You guys are finally playing. I'm like, what are you playing now? We've been playing. You just haven't watched our generation.
Yes.
The kids don't know, but I think it's just a beautiful thing in passing the baton. I know I'm not jealous and salty. I wanted to get as
even
far
further.
up as they can because it's going to help everyone. Only thing I do want to see is more players have jobs in the league. General manager jobs, ownership. I want to see a lot of the women before my era to even, because they're kind of get lost in the sauce, you know what I mean? To come back and be more into this WNBA. So I want that bridge to be.
That got to be,
You raised a good point because the problem I've been seeing in the W, at least in the last couple of years, and maybe you've seen this too now, being an analyst on the outside, we got one black head coach in the entire league, which is Noelle Quinn. Yes.
That's a shocker, right? That's a shocker.
Let me be clear. No black women head coaches outside of Noelle Quinn.
Wow. And she's one of the only players
Right.
who is a coach. Now,
how does that change?
We got to change that narrative. I would love to see Lisa Leslie come in and be a coach, Cynthia Cooper. Like, where my girls at?
Tina?
I don't understand why we don't have Coach Weatherspoon back. I don't understand we don't have a Kara Lawson up for it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
So
there's
many.
a plethora, like you said. Lisa Lexi, who's winning chips in the Big Three, by the way, so she
Right.
know how to coach.
Right.
All right.
So we got to definitely get that together. Bring these players back. I want to see, of course, more black women with the shoe deals as well. Not just 1 or 2. We got to get more of the black women involved. The Skims campaign. Y'all got to give my dark skin sisters some love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, come on, the melanated.
Less melanated.
Yes.
It's okay to melanated. Like, because you showing that,
There's a range.
there's a
variety.
range.
Absolutely.
It's a range. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful range.
Absolutely. I agree. And, one of the other things that, I want to talk to you about is when we first met, we first met in person a couple of months ago. You just talked about how the transition, people don't really see how difficult that can be. The transition can be from going from, playing full time and then, you don't get the calls that you want or whatever have you.
Right.
And what that does to your psyche, whatever have you. So how important has like the mental health and the support and like even moving out to LA been for you? Like what has that transition been like, and what have you kind of seen from that?
I don't think people understand how big it is because you got to think, we've played basketball our whole lives. That's all we
Right.
know. I've been playing basketball since I'm 8. That's all I knew.
Yes.
I didn't know any other skills in life. I've never worked a 9 to 5. And then for it to stop through injury, then I don't get a call anymore. Nobody's screaming your name no more. And it's just like, you have this identity crisis of who you are. And it really is a mental battle and a mental challenge. I still deal with it day to day sometimes. I've gotten a lot better. But I think what you have to do is continue to network, continue to show up. Because there was a time where I didn't go to a game for the last 2 years. You didn't see my face.
Yeah, it was lovely to see you at the Sparks game.
You guys are just seeing me out now because I've finally started to heal. And 'cause it's literally, you can't even watch the game because you want to be out there so bad. And even when I'm sitting there watching Sparks, I'm like, I would have did this.
Right.
I would have did that. But I think that there's a healing that needs to take place with that, with a lot of athletes and us vets helping the younger ones before, because there's going to be a time where Asia Wilson has to retire and Angel Reese. How can we help them now to be able to just transition gracefully?
Right, and then also like we spoke about the different leagues popping up now, the Unrivaled, and just seeing that how that has impacted and grown the game as well. What are your early impressions of how that league has been, and what do you think about just the concept?
I think the concept is great. I think we used to get so tired going overseas and being there 8 months. It was just, but now they get to get paid a little more and to just continue to play. I love the concept. I do want more players to be able to be rotated in. Because obviously my thing is like we rotate the same names. Let's rotate some more girls in that people can know. But it's a great, great concept.
I want to know, you mentioned about going overseas, and I want to get your perspective because obviously we know what happened with Brittany Griner, unfortunately, in that situation. Thank God she's back home and she's getting back into the swing of things. But do you feel like that incident kind of propelled faster as far as creating leagues like Unrivaled and other things where you all can stay home and still make the money and still, make a living? Because ultimately that's what it's about. It's getting cashing these checks and popping these necks and, getting going.
It definitely pushed the narrative. We were already getting to that point before because there was wars going on. Girls were playing in Israel and they had to deal with bombs and hear bombs next to them. And we didn't want to have to keep playing through that. We obviously know that we got to get to a space where the WNBA creates, financial freedom for us.
Yeah.
Because I know I can't say that the WNBA created my financial freedom. It was overseas.
Right.
So, until we get to that point, the
Where
brands,
you don't have to.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to. So the brands helping us and Unrivaled, that's the stuff we need. So we won't have to go overseas and kind of suffer.
Or to be the analyst in the off season and take on other jobs.
Exactly.
I want to get your take, but when we come back from break, because we're gonna talk about the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Oh, we gotta
and
get
of course,
spicy.
we're gonna get into Kelsey Plum
CBA, come on.
and the CBA and where do you stand with that? And if you were commissioner, what would you do different? All that and more coming back on the Hardwood 94. Stay tuned.
Warning, the following footage is offensive,
Williams with the finish.
defensive,
Driving in the paint. Into the stands.
extremely confident, occasionally disrespectful, and so devastatingly good, you'll change your passwords to WNBA 2025 OMG so good, these supers can hoop, exclamation point, exclamation.
Oh, the effort, the energy, it's all there.
Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the W.
Welcome back to the Hardwood 94. Nick Hamilton back in the building alongside Lojo, Lauren Jones, and of course our very special guest, Angel Mccoughtry. Now, before the break, I wanted to get your thoughts on Caitlin Clark because we know how dynamic Caitlin Clark is and what she's been able to do with the league. But as far as just as a player, from one player to another, what have you been impressed by her statue the most since coming into the league and then which obviously before the injury, but what she's been able to do?
I just like her fearlessness, like coming in as a rookie. You don't have many rookies that come in with just that dog.
Swag, yeah.
I love dogs that just the swag. They're not scared, you know? I was that type of rookie. I didn't have no fear, so that's what I love about her. She just goes for it. She plays like she's a vet.
Yeah, she doesn't back down from anywhere. She's like, I want all the smoke, for sure.
And she's been in the weight room because we seen in season 2. She getting it together. She getting it right and tight. But Angel Reese especially, because unfortunately, I've said this on the previous show that Caitlin can get questions about Angel Reese and it's fine. But when Angel gets questions, it's mostly surrounded about Caitlin, so she can't really get her own identity as such, right?
Separation.
So when you look at Angel Reese and what she said a few days ago just about, obviously congratulations to her for winning the BET Sports Woman of the Year award, but then also you get backhanded compliments. I mean, Clarissa Shields came out and congratulated her, but it was kind of a backhanded compliment like, well, look at my accolades too. How did she get it? And I don't really get it. It was kind of one of those type of situations. Angel's been getting criticized ever since the LSU game against Iowa, right? She did the John Cena, You Can't See Me, which was hilarious. But for Angel Reese, how do you deal with that, not just on the court, but off the court mentally? As you mentioned earlier, how you dealt with your mental health as far as being able to get that balance.
Yeah, I think, it's tough, like you said, being in the limelight as a young kid. People have to remember she's in her early 20s. Jesus Christ, like these kids haven't
23.
even turned. She's 23. She's not even 30 yet. So she's still growing. She's still gonna be a kid. I think we need to just
give her some grace.
Give her
Give her some peace.
You know what I'm saying? And I think knowing that position and being in the limelight, also not at her status, but just having media write things about me that weren't true. It's definitely It's definitely hard, and that's the thing people need to realize is these are kids. Give them some grace. Let them be kids.
It was nice to see her teammates defend her, in the post game, because I think it's really hard sometimes when you see, your teammate going through this on a regular basis and you're getting questions day in and day out, that aren't really related to what's happening on the court. And then they're also struggling that kind of compiles on with, what you're going through, and being 23 in the league and having so many eyes on you and so many just negative things said about you on a daily. I can't imagine how much of a toll that takes. It's like the child stars that, grow up a little bit too early in the limelight and don't really have the support system behind them. So it was nice to see,
because I spoke up on that before on a lot of platforms, and I was saying it too on the court. Take up for where the vets at. That Caitlin Clark was getting beat up, if Angel's getting beat up, whoever, take up for your teammate. Not just on the court, but off the court too. Where are these vets at to take up for these young players? Because we've been through it. So I was so glad to see that. That's what was needed.
And I think too, a lot of times too, because we've seen Angel Reese probably one of the most marketable players as far as off the court, right? I know there's areas of her game that we've all said we've critiqued and say, hey, you need to work on this, work on that.
Around the rim.
But when she's walking into Madison Square Garden with the fur on, looking like Frank Lucas, sitting courtside with Speedy Norman and Michael Rainey
Glow.
Jr., and then she's going to the Met Gala, and then she's going overseas, and I don't think people really understand, like, you claim these ladies aren't marketable or they don't market enough, but then when they do, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Right.
So like, where's the fine line? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, listen,
what do you want from me?
I've had critiques with Angel, right? And it's been basically game related, right? But I'm never mad at her for getting a Reebok deal, getting the cereal deal.
Yeah.
Like,
you want people to get the coins.
Get your coin.
All of them. Don't leave any crumbs left on the table.
And to
get
hear
them
people
all.
say oh well, she's focused on this to the basketball. It's like our male counterparts do a million things too.
Yes.
And then they just get the praise and the praise and the praise. And then when us women, we're doing it, because I've heard that with me trying to come back to the league, it's like, oh, well, Angel, she focused on basketball, she's doing too much. And it's like, what is doing too much? I'm not getting paid from basketball, so I got to do too much to pay my bills, you know what I'm saying? So I think this fine line with women and us, like, we can multitask. Actually, we might be better multitaskers
Hey, listen, you got no. Hey, look here. We are one-dimensional, maybe two on a good day. I will not argue that point.
Yeah,
Nope,
but
I
you
ain't getting
see,
jumped in the parking lot.
you see
Nope.
Draymond after games doing a podcast, emergency pod. You saw Patrick Beverly for a long time do the same thing. So yeah, like, and they're not getting any of that same criticism or hate, like, oh, you're just a podcaster, so why are you doing this? So I completely agree with you, Angel. I think that there needs to be like, hey, same energy.
Let us do us.
To the
Let
yes.
the girls do them.
Yeah.
Angel, you got to work on your offensive game. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And listen, this is what I said though.
She's 23.
Listen, but this is what I said though. I said if you spend a week with Tim Duncan and you spend a week with Candace Parker, you'll see a drastic improvement.
Speaking of Candace Parker, she's getting her jersey retired by the LA Sparks, which is really exciting at the end of this month. Can you just give us maybe your favorite Candace Parker moment? Battles, whether it's on the court, off the court, but just favorite. Yes,
many beautiful battles. I call them beautiful battles. The one thing I love about Candace was people don't realize how encouraging she was to her opponents. I remember when I played with her at USA Basketball, and it was my first time. I wasn't a known player. I had never been on the Olympic team. She's like, keep doing what you're doing. She's like, you're going to make this team. She's like, just keep doing it. And I'm like, this is kind of Candace Parker.
Yeah.
She just took time to encourage me. And that took me to another level of her encouragement. And we've been friends ever since. And she's just a beautiful person.
Yeah.
Like, Candace deserves everything plus more that she's getting.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, it's so true. And obviously, we've seen the blueprint, from her transitioning so seamlessly to, being an analyst and doing so many things in the media space. So it's great to see, the sisterhood is still there, even with the battles that you guys have had. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's there forever. And it's just beautiful to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Did you get her book now, friend?
I'm going to get the book.
Oh, okay. All right now, friend.
I'm going to
just saying.
get the book, and I'm going to have her sign it.
I got it on
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Hey, support.
You know I'm going to read the book. Yes.
Nah, I bet.
Matter of fact, I'm going to get it tonight.
Okay,
Right,
there you go.
Yeah,
There
we
you
got
go.
a Barcelona right over here in Manhattan Beach.
We talked about expansion, and the league is expanding. Obviously, you got Portland, Toronto.
Yes, the Temple.
You got Cleveland coming into the fold. But the biggest problem, what do you feel like the biggest problem the league is still missing to this day? And if you were WNBA commissioner, what would you do differently, or what would you keep the same?
I think we're doing well with expansion of the team. My concern would be more of the CBA side. Like, for me, I've played over a decade. I've had injuries. I've busted my butt to play in this game so hard. And, it's like now I don't have insurance, right? Our male counterparts, they make millions of dollars, but they have the stipends and insurance to take care of their bodies even after they retire. So I would say more on that side. We need to get the medical right and different things. We just helped women with pregnancy.
Yes.
But that side has to get better for the women because we work so hard and we deserve a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about that, I think, to a great extent, is that, it's kind of like in the NFL and a lot of these other leagues where in retirement, you're putting your body on the line, you're sacrificing. The least you should get is, lifetime medical where you don't have to worry about that in perpetuity.
Yes.
I feel like that's the bare minimum that should be extended. But also there's been a change in the scheduling and, just the sheer amount of games. What are your thoughts on just how the WNBA has managed some of these new like the expansion of the timeline and the schedule for these teams and how it's being, broadcast and all that stuff.
Because the schedule, there's more games, I believe, right?
Yes.
There is
44.
44,
Yes,
and there
44.
used to be 40.
It was 38.
It was 38.
Then it went to 40.
40.
Now it's 44. And then you got 5 games now for the first round of the playoffs, and you got 7 games for the finals.
Right.
Wow.
I'm tired.
Just talking about it.
Lord, I'm tired.
I mean,
It's a long season.
It's a long season. I just don't want to see injuries. You know what I'm saying? I hate seeing that. But hopefully these girls can stay healthy throughout the season, and coaches are using their benches. I'm here and I'm available if
Come on
y'all.
now. Period.
Hey man, I've been seeing you
Call
hoop.
her.
I've been seeing you hoop. I have been seeing you.
Still
hoop.
got it.
You still got them moves
still
now.
got it.
But why do people say that? Let's talk about that. Why do people keep saying I still got it? Where did it go?
Right.
Oh, because because we haven't
for coming
seen
back
you.
from injury.
We haven't seen you. Right? A lot of people.
But where,
haven't
even
seen
if you haven't seen me, where would it go?
No, I'm just saying.
Right. Like, if you got game, you got game.
It's a figure of speech.
Yeah.
I'm about to get.
Yeah.
Okay.
We respect that. Hey,
Y'all
you
see
know
the
what?
fist that's
That's
popping over here?
But you see, it's
No, but I mean, it's not like you never left the moves. But I mean, for people that haven't seen you in a while, and we didn't get any like, hey, Angel's doing this now. Like, we didn't get like we got the Diana press release, we got the Maya Moore press, we got the Candace Parker. We didn't get the Angel Mccoughtry, like, what is she doing now? Right. We was like, okay, 1 minute she's on the floor, she's hooping, and the next minute we're like, what the hell just happened?
Well, that's the media fault. Y'all don't want to follow your girl, but it's cool.
Well, don't put me in y'all now.
I want to talk more about the filmmaking and the directing and producing, how you got into it, what your current projects are, and how that's been become a more part of your life. Yeah.
I love the space, man. I love being able to bring something that didn't exist and bring it to life. Just the story. And I want to be one of the ones to bridge the gap, to bring more WNBA stories, women athlete stories that people haven't heard about.
Yeah.
So I have a new film called Bygones. It's it's a women's basketball-based movie. And she creates this friendship and this bond, but there's a dark, riveting past behind it. So I've gotten some good press release from the movie. It is a short film. It's about 28 minutes. But I've gotten some good
feedback.
Feedback, especially for my first time directing and creating my own film.
What were the biggest challenges that you experienced, the things that you didn't really realize during that process of filmmaking and directing?
I feel like in the editing process, you're like, man, I should have got that angle, or I should have got this close up. But what I really enjoyed about it was it felt like it gave me that same feeling as basketball. I got that same adrenaline. Like, I was the coach, and these are my players, and I have to coach them. Because there was a lot of first-time actors in this movie, and it doesn't seem like it. And I would say that's because I'm a good coach.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of that.
I love that.
Congratulations on making the Rain Dance Film Festival in Britain. I mean, that's an accomplishment when you get overseas love like
that.
Oh, man.
Like, for you to be from the States and then get that overseas love, and then I see you kind of just building. For you, how critical were you, and how much did you have to kind of back away? Like, oh no, that's not that move. That we don't turn like that. You being a baller, but you have to coach these actors and actresses to really bring the authenticity out.
Yeah, I think I think I would be a good basketball coach, even though I'm not ready for that yet. Because what I did was I didn't hover. I'm going to call my actors my players. I didn't hover my players. I gave them the green light to be themselves, and a lot of it was improv. I'm like, that's how you would do it.
Right.
And that gave them the space to be comfortable.
Empowerment.
Yeah, because when you see players in basketball who keep looking over at the bench, at the coach, and they're scared to come out the game and mess up, you can't hover players like that. It makes them uncomfortable. They don't play their game.
Right.
And I hate seeing that.
And
give the players, they're grown women, give them the green light to be themselves. And then when they mess, they say, hey, do it like this. I saw this.
Right.
And that's how I started coaching my players, and they became great on film. I mean, it was just amazing to see.
That's dope. Phenomenal. Yeah. Who are some of your top filmmakers and directors currently? If you had to name your top 3, or people that you would want to work with.
Oh yeah, I would love to work with Zoe Salonda. She's one of my top. Just watching her come up. I like all female directors. I just love because it's such a male dominated. A lot of spaces are male dominated. So to see female directors just become big in the space, I'm just fans of all of them.
Yeah.
Sorry if I don't have the names.
What's the ultimate project that you see yourself at some point working on that you want to tackle?
I have been working on a WNBA dramatic, a dramatic comedy TV show for over 6 years. I'm
so excited for that. I can't wait for that one.
Yes, I've been pitching it before anybody even thought to think, because everybody wants to do a WNBA show now.
Right.
After the fact. After the fact. We've been here.
Yes, I've been pitching this since 2017. I have gone to the studios, and it was literally like, oh, WNBA show. Now is the time, and obviously I have competition now because there's a lot of people doing it, but I hope I'm able to get my story out, because I've taken stories from other players and put it in the show. So there's so many stories in this TV show. It's called Fair Game. And it's about, kind of give you a little synopsis. You have a WNBA player, you have an NBA player best friend. She works really hard, right? But she drives up in her Honda.
Right.
He drives up in his Maserati. So this is kind of showing life before this new WNBA, and we're going to lead into this new WNBA. Just to give you a little bit, don't be stealing my content.
Right. Sign the NDAs right now. Sign the NDAs now.
That name has been trademarked, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Don't even try it.
So we're gonna get this thing out.
Yeah, when you told me about it initially, you know, in our first conversation, I was like, this just sounds like it covers so much life because it's not just about like what you're seeing, you know, and the obvious juxtapositions between these two leagues, but it's like also telling the stories behind stories, like, you know, the main character and everything. So I'm excited for people to get a chance to see it.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that people laugh at kind of what we're going through, but at the same time, we want them to be like,
feel that, like, feel the empathy, like, damn, they really do that. Like,
You know, we scrunched up in the plane. We 6'8" next to
Right. Or gotta go through security like everybody else.
Yeah, so it's like that life.
Sharing a hotel room with a grown woman,
crazy.
you know.
Or not even being able to have the right hotel room because, like you say, you 6'8", you gotta be scrunched down.
Yeah, all of it. So.
You got a moment to stick around for a second?
Yeah, we
All
have
right, cool. All right, y'all. Now there's been a lot going on in LA, as you know, and after an overtime loss, a very frustrated Kelsey Plum had. Let me start that again. Sorry. You ready, Chloe?
So let's just go from when you start that sentence.
Okay, cool.
Whenever you're ready.
Now, there's been a lot going on in LA, and of course, after an overtime loss, a very frustrated Kelsey Plum held nothing back in her post-game presser. Y'all take a look. Whew.
Fine for saying this, but like, I drive more than anyone in the league, so to shoot 6 free throws is fucking absurd. And I got scratches on my face, got scratches on my body, and these guards on the other team get these ticky-tack fouls, and I'm sick of it. I get fouled like that every possession. Ricky gets fouled like that in the post all the time, and they don't call it, and I don't know what else to do. Like, it's really frustrating though. I'm like, I feel, I mean, there's multiple shots at the end of the game, either into the third, into the fourth, where they're just coming in, fucking swinging, and they just don't call anything. And I don't understand how that's 6 free throws. I'm playing 40 minutes, touching the paint almost every play. It's absurd. It's absurd. And so I'm saying, like, I'll get fined for that, and that's fine, but, I mean, and I needed to make more shots, like, late game, but, I mean, they're fouling the shit out of me every single play. Yeah. So I'm very frustrated with that, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I don't know what I need to do. I talk to the refs nice. I pray before the game. Like, fuck, I'm over it.
Thank you.
Justin.
Well, as you can see, a very frustrated Kelsey Plum. And I understand. And I think most of that frustration was because they have not been able to string together consecutive wins.
Yes.
And when you lose like that in overtime to a team that you feel that you're a little more superior to, it stings a lot more. And then when you're not getting the calls that you get, so I understand it. I mean, some of the comments were wild. Some of the comments I had to delete because it was a little flagrant. But I will say this. I think Kelsey Plum does have a point, but also, too, at the same time, it's like, look, once you realize what the refs are doing, you got to kind of figure it out. And I know you've been through that similar situation where you know the refs and you got in their face. Like, Angel wasn't playing.
Yeah, like, what's your strategy?
Let me work with you on that TV show because I got some Angel stories that might. No. But, I mean, for you, when you were playing and then watching it now, has a lot changed, like, for the worse or for the better, or has it pretty much stayed the same when it comes to reffing, you all?
I mean, they're going to be who they are, you know. This is one thing I learned. Refs are still human. They might have their favorite players. They might not have their favorite players. I mean, they're not going to say that.
Of course.
But they're still human beings. So you got to kind of balance it. Yeah, I got in a couple refs' face, but they knew my passion. I let them know, like, this ain't personal. This is my passion for the game. So I think, we had that understanding. Yeah, I got some texts, but sometimes what Kelsey Plum did is normal. You're trying to win. You're trying to show yourself as a leader. And you're trying to say, like, listen, I need my calls. I bet you next game she gets some calls.
Right. Have you taken the fine? Like, okay, I'm just going to go after it.
I'm taking the fine. I'm taking it.
And you know what's funny is that watching you, the fans really loved your passion.
Yes.
Regardless if you was in a rest face or you were just going up for the layup or knocking down a three, and you was, spinning, put somebody in the popcorn machine or whatever. People loved your passion. I think that's what a lot of things are missing. Now we're starting to see it again. Like we're starting to see the Kelsey Plums, the Caitlin Clarks, the Angel Reeses, even the Paige Beckers of the world get that passion. Like, no, we're not backing down.
Yep.
And I think that's what I would love to see more of. Like, I didn't have a problem. I loved her.
I love that.
Yeah.
We need that.
That's my favorite second language. So,
No,
I was right there
but
with her.
also, I feel like,
cool.
even the the question that she was asked didn't warrant that. I feel like she just wanted to get that off her chest because she was like, hold on, let me just go back to this real quick. And I just have to say this. I'm going to take the fine, And so I feel like that's important, to be able to express it.
Let it out. You know what I'm saying? Be a dog. Bring the passion back. Let the fans see it. Like, that's what we need in our game.
She also advocated for Rakia saying the same thing, that she was frustrated and, Rakia not getting certain calls. And, I mean, obviously she's in her second year, so, she might not have earned those calls just yet, but, to be able to advocate for her teammates, it just demonstrates the leadership that Kelsey Plum has. And we know that she loves to, she hates losing. She wants to win. She knows how to win. And so, I'm sure it's a combination of things that have frustrated her, throughout this process of, like, learning this new Sparks team.
Yeah.
Welcome to LA. Like I told y'all, it ain't Vegas.
Yeah.
In no way, shape, or form.
I'm telling
and
you.
The coaching is going to be questionable. Because
Well, they're already trying to find Lynn as the scapegoat, it seems like.
Well, I mean,
you gotta blame
why shouldn't
somebody.
she? I mean, but why shouldn't she? Like I said before, it was going to come down to coaching and the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And when I look, and it's no shade to Lynn Roberts, because I know Lynn Roberts is, she knows the game. I'm not saying she doesn't. But at the same time, when you have a superstar talent like Kelsey Plum, who's on a 1-year deal, so you got 1 year to convince her LA is the place for you to stay.
Right. And also attract new talent.
And attract new talent,
new
right?
Stars.
And you're going to be working with Cam Brink when she comes back off her injury.
Man,
and
we're
she's
just
gonna
waiting
be
for that.
dynamic. So what my thing was, when I don't know if you saw the interview with Angel Reese and Lisa Leslie, when Lisa Leslie came out and said, hey, I went after 2 teams and they both turned me down. And
To be a coach, yes. Before the season started.
And allegedly, Dallas was one of the teams that turned her down. Now, we don't know who the second team is. It could be anybody that had a coaching vacancy. But I'm looking at it like, if I were the LA Sparks, and I'm saying this for me, I ain't speaking for nobody on this table, so if you want to address something, you can come at me. I ain't ducking no smoke.
Yeah.
I would have hired Lisa Leslie for a multitude of reasons for the LA Sparks. 1, there's a name there. 2, there's familiarity. And 3, you got a young lady named Cameron Brink, whom she looks up to as far as Lisa Leslie is concerned. And she's proven to know how to coach the game, because even whether it's the big 3 or whether it's collegiate or being an analyst, she still knows the game. Lisa Legend is exactly who she is. And to have somebody like that can relate to the players, kind of like we saw with Teresa Weatherspoon in Chicago, how she was able to relate to Angel Reese and make her transition
Kennedy
a little
Carter.
bit more comfortable. Kennedy Carter, exactly. There's no reason why in hell Kennedy Carter should be playing in Mexico right now. Makes no damn sense. I don't understand it. Maybe y'all can help me out. I don't know.
And shame on the 2 teams who wouldn't pick up Lisa Leslie.
Right. It's like a no-brainer, especially for LA.
Marketing-wise, basketball-wise.
All the things. Like the first woman to have her own signature shoe.
What are we doing? I didn't even know that. What are we doing?
Right.
I'm going to need a refill of this vodka.
Tempo, Portland,
water.
Cleveland.
The Tempo got Serena Williams as one of the owners now. Serena got pulled. Just saying.
It makes a lot of sense.
Because who would turn down Lisa?
I don't understand.
I have no idea. Who
would turn? Why? Again, as I said earlier, why is Teresa Weatherspoon not coaching? Why do we have Kara Lawson? Like you said, where are the executives? Where are the executives? When I look at, there's so
That's
many.
a layup.
So this is why we need more players in ownership.
Yes.
That's just the answer to that question.
Yeah.
There you go.
And expansion of rosters too, because I think that's also a problem too.
It definitely is.
Look at the hardship that Indiana faced. I mean, that team was a stacked team before Caitlin, and then Sophie went down, and then Sydney went down, and you started having all these injuries like you mentioned earlier. It's like we got to expand these rosters, man.
Yes.
That's the other part.
It's so crazy to me that like people get drafted and then they could be cut before the season even starts. I'm like, it's like that's heartbreaking.
It's just so many great players. It's so sad to see that, and not just for basketball. These are jobs that these women need. Like, this is their living, and then they got to figure out, what am I going to do for a job?
They fly out, like get settled thinking that they're going to be one place, and then a couple of days later it's like, oh, you're not even on the team.
So it's just we got some things we still got to work on, y'all.
So what hallway are we going to see you coming out of?
Hey, yes.
Out the hallway.
Hey, I'm working every day.
Okay.
We'll see whoever needs.
I see you've been working out. I see you've been working out in the gym.
And like I said before, like obviously this is my last year trying, because I'm going to be 40 soon. I turn 39 in September, and it'll be my last year in my 30s. Not saying I can't play in my 40s, but I can't keep it'll be the 3rd year, 4th year. I'm trying to get back in the league. So if I don't get back in this year, I will call it because it's just a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I hope you.
Hoping
I
to
honestly
see
hope you
it.
get back in because I would
Yes.
love to see you go out.
Finish
the way
out.
I would
Yes.
love to.
Yes.
I would love to
Yes.
finish.
You
on
deserve
the
that.
court, please.
Yes.
I've been praying for so long. God, I would love to finish. I feel like I deserve to retire just playing.
Absolutely.
Just being on the hardwood.
Yes.
The hardwood 94.
There you
Hey.
go. Hello. Touch on the move. You do know that.
I love it.
Now, would you like to finish with the Atlanta Dream if you had the opportunity?
I'll put it like this. The last 3 years I lived in Atlanta, right? The city knows me. They love me.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
I still play.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm answering your
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Hey,
Hey,
she
you
said
answered
it's-
without answering.
it's
Well, okay,
easy
all right.
call.
Well,
It's
the
an
question.
easy
See, that's,
call.
ladies and gentlemen, that is media training 101. Thank you very much. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all I
But
got to say.
no, I would honestly, personally, just as a fan and I would love to see you don. I mean, any team that you get, I would love to see you in. But it would be just so nostalgic to have you back in that Atlanta Dream.
I think that the ball is on their court on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I lived
Yes.
I was there. So, I mean, not saying I didn't advocate for myself to do that.
Right.
But, you know, you have other people in higher positions who have their own opinions on how things should go.
Right.
And you just have to respect that.
I have to ask you how your transition to LA has been. I'm an LA native, so of course, welcome to the city. We're happy to have you out here. But what's been your best places that you've gone to eat? We gotta get a little bit of that.
I love LA. I love it for everything it is, like the mountains, the beach. I love that I can get lost here. I love the people love to network and collab.
Yes.
And I've been meeting so many people who just want to just have some fun and work, and especially in the film space. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's dope.
Oh, so you've been south of the 10? Like Kendrick said, you really like-
Oh my
South of the 10 is
gosh.
what, going down toward.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't
I
go
think
on
I
that
have,
east
'cause I've
side.
been to Watts. They have this gym.
Okay, yeah,
There
okay.
you go.
can watch,
They have this
okay,
gym with like
yeah.
all the Kobe murals. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. She's been to
Yeah.
all right, cool.
King
hung with the guys,
Drew,
Okay, all right. I'm just saying she's been on the block. All right, that's what's up.
Block a little bit. And they all asked me for tennis shoes, so I had to give out some.
Hey,
Of course,
oh, man.
of course.
Hey, I'm asking you too. What you
I'm
talking
hey,
about?
listen, we gonna wait till after the show. We gonna
Right,
talk.
we gonna wrap it up.
Now let's head into the WNBA Drip of the Week to see who's steady dripping and who's not. Lauren?
Ooh. Okay, so right here we got my girl Dejanay Carrington,
Ooh,
and
giddy
she's
up.
okay. All right, Nick, not too
I'm
much,
sorry, all
not
right.
too
You know,
much
I'm just,
now.
I'm just at mine.
But I love the fit. I mean, the cowgirl, the Cowboy Carter, tour has wrapped almost, and so we see her, just busting it down. But I think she looks great. The cowboy hat, the white. She's looking godly. It's fire. Yeah, I'm here for it. That's one of my fits of the week for sure.
Okay.
And then we have Kalani Brown, of course. And it's giving club a little bit, but the body's bodying, it's giving tea. She just looks so fire. It's still classy in a way. Like, I love the color scheme, the gray.
And
that's my favorite.
I commend girls who know how to wear heels before a game.
Okay.
Cause baby.
Well, there's been some struggles when people, I'm like, I love the poses, but when we see them get to walking, I'm like, okay, we can use a little.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, and obviously, it's giving stallion. She's looking great. So yeah, those are my 2 picks of the week in terms of the fits. I gotta see how Nick, what you thinking? Who you got for this week?
I mean, Chicago Sky. I mean, I know that's another one that you picked.
Yeah.
Honorable
mention,
Yeah,
for
honorable
sure.
mention
It's giving
for sure.
Sandra Bullock. Maybe it's giving back in the day. Like the
Hey,
90s fine
don't
type
sleep
of
on
look.
Sandra Bullock.
Hey.
Hey.
Single white female.
Yeah,
Hey, all right. Now.
Oh,
But
man.
here's my drip of the week, and I'm gonna pick a team because I feel like the Atlanta Dream.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, we
they
gotta
rocking
get-
on the court and off the court.
I see what you did there, Nick.
Yeah, I got. I
see
mean,
what
come
you did
on, now.
there.
I got the
I see
show
it.
up.
I see it.
Yeah, Brianna
Okay,
Jones doing her
the red
thing.
heels. Okay, ooh.
So I love the fact, I'm with Angel. I love the fact when not only, I know y'all talk about the heels, I have nothing to do with that. I don't know nothing about that. But I do know fashion. I love seeing them express themselves
Yes,
in a
I love it.
fashionable way. And
So
it's fun
dope.
to watch too, because when you see them walking in there, like you said earlier, it's like watching
So
the
much
NBA players walk.
Yes,
Now
the
they
lead
getting that
fits.
shine.
Yes,
So that's
it's a
what
moment.
that's
Nick,
what I
do
want.
you have a WNBA crush?
Oh yeah, but we ain't gonna talk about that. I gotta
Talk
go
about that off camera.
I gotta
Talk
go
about that
around.
off
I gotta go
camera.
around some of these players. I can't do that. I'm gonna get my credential revoked. I can't do that.
Revoked. You gonna get canceled. You gotta get him canceled.
Give me an old time player. That's
Oh, man.
already retired and done.
Oh, I know a couple of his.
Let's see. Let me think right quick. Right quick. Look here. Let me,
Oh,
Let me
Lord.
sit next to one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course. Candace Parker. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
That's
she
classic.
just, but not only
Gorgeous.
she gorgeous, but the way her aura and her vibe.
Or
is
the
just,
vibe.
Yes.
How she handles
Big
herself.
vibes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
The baby hair slick.
Come
down.
on now.
oh yeah, I was
She gorgeous. Just
yeah, rocking it.
yeah.
She don't let nobody touch her baby hairs now.
No,
Oh,
she
like
can't.
baby hairs are important, girl. If I had some, I wouldn't let them touch it either. But
I know some certain makeup artists, she'll let swoop it. Not me.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna say, you know what, Maya Moore, because the way
Oh,
Maya,
yeah.
Maya was
That's
low
a
key,
killer.
but then you watch
Maya's
some of them,
gorgeous.
some
Yeah.
of them Jordan Brand commercials, you be like,
That was a great era. I'm like, you know,
respect to Maya, because I know she's made. I've had a chance to meet her
I don't have
husband.
my boy coming up here.
No, I listen.
I see
She's
you
a
doing it
beautiful
all the
girl,
time.
but the way
You're
she
too
carried
deep.
herself too, I think that's what, because she was so like focused, but the
Very
way she
mellow.
carried herself.
Yes. She was
She
even
was.
killed. I mean, like it took a lot for her to get rattled or like, you know, but she was still
Very,
just,
yes.
I mean,
and she will invite you to Bible
poised.
study in a minute.
okay?
Light
I
your
was
ass
there.
up on the court.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bible study, we
Bucket.
do Bible study, and then she's lighting somebody on the court.
Yeah.
Oh
Facts.
yeah, she won for play.
No,
And
at
of
all.
course,
She gives
you
me
know-
like Mamba mentality vibes for
Yeah.
sure. Like one
Of
of those
course, you
players
know,
like that. Yeah. She was like that.
Angel McCoughtry, but we.
Yeah. All right.
Nigga, you better
Okay.
stop.
Okay. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up.
She asked. What do you want me to do?
Hey,
I'm
you
sorry.
know, mad. I'm not mad at him. No,
What you like?
Angels go.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Well,
gonna say that
after
first.
the
Y'all mind your business,
after
y'all mind your business.
If y'all see us having coffee, y'all know why.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, right.
No more than
Chips
coffee.
cheese.
But anyway, so I know, like I said earlier, you've
Yes.
been working out. We've been seeing you getting your shoot on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
go. Let's see what you got. 'cause
Nick
I want
always
the
bring out the
people to
props.
see- I want the people to see what you're working with.
Oh.
No.
You know, and you know, I'm gonna be a test dummy
out
right
there.
quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna let you get this rock right fast. And I'm gonna see what you got going.
Yay.
I got a little something.
Look at here.
What you got?
You know what I'm saying?
What you got? What you got? What you got?
What you got? What you got?
Step out.
Oh.
Oh, broke her ankles. Not broke the ankles.
And you know what, y'all?
Not
After
broke the
that,
ankles.
We out. Lord, my whole left side done went out. I'm gonna see y'all
Oh my
next. We gonna see y'all next
goodness.
week. I may be on IR, so
gosh.
I don't know what we gonna do.
Nick, help him.
I'm oh Lord, my whole left side done went out, dog.
I can't.
I'm gonna see y'all in a minute.
So dramatic.
Oh.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you.